Have you ever slipped on a sweater you've owned for years, only to catch your reflection and feel like something about it makes you look older than you really are? The truth is, not all sweaters are created equal, and some of the styles many women over 60 still reach for are quietly adding 10 years or more to their look. This video is here to help you spot those culprits and discover the pieces that will flatter you instead. Fashion after 60 isn't about chasing trends or trying to look 20 again. It's about choosing pieces that bring out your natural elegance, highlight your best features, and allow you to feel confident every time you step out the door. Sweaters are one of the most worn items in any wardrobe, especially for women in the US, where cooler weather makes them a staple. But just as the wrong cut of pants can throw off your proportions, the wrong sweater can add unnecessary weight, drown your figure, or make you appear outdated. That's why today we're going to walk through the sweater styles that may be unintentionally aging you, and more importantly, what you can wear instead. From bulky turtlenecks that weigh down your neckline to outdated prints that send the wrong message, you'll see how simple swaps can instantly freshen up your look. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what to avoid, what to replace, and how to build a sweater collection that feels modern, chic, and age-appropriate. If you've ever asked yourself, what are the best sweaters for women over 60, or wondered why certain outfits don't look quite right anymore, you're about to find out. And with that, let's dive into the first mistake that can instantly age your style. Baggy, oversized sweaters that swallow your shape. One of the most common mistakes women over 60 make with sweaters is relying too heavily on oversized styles that completely drown their figure. At first glance, baggy sweaters feel safe. They're comfortable, they cover everything, and they seem like an easy choice on days when you want to keep it simple. But here's the problem. When a sweater has no structure, it doesn't just hide your body, it erases your shape altogether. Instead of looking cozy and relaxed, you may end up looking weighed down and, unintentionally, much older. Think about it this way. Fashion for mature women isn't about hiding behind layers. It's about highlighting your natural silhouette in a flattering, effortless way. Oversized sweaters without any definition can make the shoulders slump, shorten the legs, and blur the waistline. What's worse, when the fabric pools around your frame, it can add the illusion of extra bulk, even if you're petite. That's exactly why so many women notice they look 10 years older in these comfort-first pieces. So, what should you wear instead? Look for sweaters that strike a balance between comfort and structure. A slightly relaxed fit with subtle tailoring, like dropped shoulders or a curved hemline, can still feel cozy without overwhelming your figure. Belted cardigans are another great alternative because they define the waist while keeping the comfort you love. Fabrics with a bit of drape, such as lightweight merino wool or cotton blends, naturally skim the body without clinging or sagging. These small shifts instantly give your outfit a more polished, modern feel. Here's a quick tip. Try doing a front tuck with your sweater into tailored pants or a skirt. This tiny styling trick creates the illusion of longer legs and a defined waist, all without sacrificing comfort. Women over 60 often say they feel taller, slimmer, and more confident after trying it. If you've been living in oversized knits for years, don't worry, you don't have to give them up completely. It's all about finding versions that are intentional and flattering, not sloppy. And speaking of sweaters that weigh you down, let's talk about another culprit: heavy turtlenecks that can instantly age your neckline. Heavy turtlenecks that add bulk around the face. For decades, the chunky turtleneck has been considered a winter classic. It's warm, it's practical, and it feels like a security blanket on cold days. But for women over 60, this style can be one of the fastest ways to add unnecessary years to your look. Why? Because heavy turtlenecks create bulk around the very area most women want to keep light and elegant, the face and neck. When a thick roll of fabric crowds your neckline, it can make your face appear fuller and your neck seem shorter. Instead of looking cozy chic, you risk looking weighed down and closed off. Many women also notice that these sweaters draw attention to areas like sagging skin under the chin, which can feel unflattering. It's not that you should avoid warmth, it's that you want to choose necklines that elongate, not compress. So what's the solution? Swap out the heavy, fold-over turtlenecks for styles that offer a more flattering frame. A mock neck sweater provides a sleek look without overwhelming your features. A V-neck or gentle scoop neck helps open up the face, creating length through the neckline and drawing the eye upward. Even a cowl neck can work beautifully if it's made of lightweight fabric that drapes softly instead of bunching up. Fabric choice also matters. Look for sweaters in thinner, high-quality knits like merino wool, cashmere, or cotton blends. These materials keep you warm but create less bulk. Pair them with a simple necklace or scarf for elegance that feels intentional and sophisticated. Remember, fashion for women over 60 should celebrate your natural grace, not hide it. Here's a practical test. When you try on a sweater, pay attention to whether your neck and collarbone feel visible and elongated. If they do, you've likely found a neckline that makes you look vibrant and polished. If your neck feels buried, it's time to put that sweater back on the rack. Now that we've uncovered how heavy turtlenecks can age you, let's move to another sneaky detail that often betrays your age: outdated prints and patterns that no longer feel modern. Outdated prints and loud patterns. Another sweater trap that can quietly add years to your look is clinging to prints and patterns that feel outdated. Maybe it's that zigzag motif you bought back in the 90s, or a bold novelty print that once felt fun but now looks more retro costume than stylish. Loud patterns can overwhelm your natural features, and outdated designs often signal a look that hasn't been refreshed in years. The result: instead of appearing modern and polished, you may unintentionally project an older, dated image. Fashion for mature women isn't about being plain or boring, it's about being selective. The prints and patterns you choose should elevate your outfit, not distract from it. Busy florals with too many colors, overly geometric designs, or neon stripes can dominate your look, making the sweater the star while pushing you into the background. And when that happens, people notice the garment, not your natural elegance. So, what's a better choice? Opt for subtle, timeless patterns that add interest without taking over. A classic Breton stripe in neutral tones, soft plaids, or even delicate herringbone weaves can look chic without being loud. Solid colors in jewel tones, think deep teal, burgundy, or emerald, also have a powerful, age-defying effect. They highlight your skin tone, brighten your overall look, and send the message that your style is intentional and current. Here's a tip: if you love prints, make sure they feel fresh and balanced. Pair a subtle patterned sweater with sleek, modern bottoms like tailored trousers or dark jeans. This creates harmony and keeps your look polished rather than chaotic. And when in doubt, less is more. One well-chosen detail will always look more stylish than a pattern that shouts. It's not about erasing personality or fun. It's about updating your visual language so your style reflects who you are today, not who you were decades ago. When you shift from outdated to timeless, people stop noticing the sweater first and start noticing you. Now that we've addressed how prints can work for or against you, let's turn to another important element: the fabric itself. Because nothing ages a sweater faster than cheap, itchy materials that look tired after just a few wears. Itchy, cheap fabrics that look tired. Even the most flattering cut or timeless print can fall flat if the fabric itself feels cheap or worn out. One of the biggest mistakes women over 60 make with sweaters is holding on to pieces made of low-quality materials like rough acrylic blends that pill, stretch, and itch after just a few washes. These fabrics don't just feel uncomfortable on your skin, they also signal old and tired every time you wear them. Think about how your sweater looks up close. Is it fuzzy with little pills on the surface? Has the fabric stretched out of shape at the elbows or neckline? Does it feel scratchy when you slip it on? These are clear signs that the sweater has lost its elegance. Instead of projecting sophistication, it can make you appear careless with your wardrobe, which often adds years to your overall presentation. The solution isn't filling your closet with expensive designer labels, it's choosing fabrics that last and maintain their structure. Natural fibers like cotton, merino wool, cashmere, and silk blends offer both comfort and durability. They breathe better, drape more beautifully, and resist looking worn out over time. For women over 60, investing in a few quality sweaters can make your entire wardrobe feel elevated, even if you mix them with budget-friendly pieces. Here's a style trick. When shopping, run your hand across the sweater fabric. If it feels plasticky, overly stiff, or scratchy, it won't look luxurious on your body. On the other hand, a fabric that feels soft and smooth will naturally translate into a polished look. Choosing quality doesn't just make you look younger, it also makes you feel more confident because comfort and elegance go hand in hand. Remember, fashion for mature women isn't about quantity, it's about quality. Fewer, better sweaters will always serve you more than a drawer full of itchy, cheap ones. And now that we've talked about fabrics and comfort, let's move on to another factor that dramatically impacts how youthful or dated your sweater looks: the length. Because wearing a sweater that's too short or too long can throw off your proportions in an instant. Sweaters that are too short or too long. Length matters more than most people realize, especially when it comes to sweaters. A piece that's too short can expose the midsection in unflattering ways, while one that's too long can drag down your frame, making you appear shorter and heavier than you actually are. For women over 60, finding the right length is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to create a polished, age-appropriate look. Let's start with sweaters that are too short. Cropped cuts, or even pieces that ride up above the waist, can draw unwanted attention to the stomach and hip area. Instead of looking youthful, they tend to break the natural line of your silhouette, which can make you look boxy or emphasize areas you'd rather downplay. On the flip side, very long tunic sweaters can overwhelm your proportions. They stretch your figure downward, hiding your shape and creating a heavy, dragging effect. Both extremes work against the elegance you want to project. So what's the sweet spot? Aim for sweaters that hit right at the hip bone or just below it. This length elongates the torso while keeping your proportions in balance. Another flattering option is a mid-thigh cardigan or sweater coat, which creates a vertical line that lengthens your frame. These cuts work beautifully with slim pants, skirts, or straight-legged jeans, helping you look taller and more refined. Here's a practical styling tip. Use layering to your advantage. A sweater of the right length can be worn over a crisp blouse with the hem slightly peeking out. This trick adds depth to your outfit and creates visual interest without adding bulk. And when in doubt, a quick front tuck can help adjust proportions instantly, giving the illusion of longer legs and a defined waistline. Finding your perfect sweater length is less about following fashion trends and more about honoring your natural shape. When the proportions are right, you'll notice you look instantly younger, slimmer, and more confident. And speaking of confidence, nothing undermines it faster than sweaters that look old and worn out. Let's talk about why faded, stretched, or tired knits can quietly add years to your appearance. Faded, worn-out sweaters that age you nothing adds years faster than clothing that looks past its prime. A faded sweater with stretched cuffs, sagging shoulders, or thinning fabric doesn't just look tired, it makes you look tired as well. And while it might feel comforting to keep that old favorite you've worn for a decade, the reality is that worn-out sweaters send the message that you're stuck in the past. Clothing has energy. When a sweater is dull, shapeless, or fraying at the edges, it can drain vitality from your entire appearance. Even if you pair it with modern pants or stylish accessories, the sweater becomes the weak link that pulls the whole outfit down. Women over 60 often tell me they feel invisible when they wear these older pieces because instead of standing out, they blend into the background. That's not what style after 60 is about. You deserve to look fresh, vibrant, and noticed. So, how do you fix this without tossing everything in your closet? Start by doing a quick sweater audit. Hold each piece up in natural light. Does the color still look rich, or has it dulled with repeated washes? Does the fabric hold its shape, or has it stretched and sagged? If the answer leans toward tired and faded, it's time to replace it. When you shop, think in terms of investment, not quantity. A couple of high-quality sweaters in flattering colors will carry you further than a drawer full of tired knits. Jewel tones like sapphire blue or deep plum instantly refresh your complexion, while neutrals like cream, camel, and charcoal always feel timeless. Adding just one or two new, well-made sweaters can transform your wardrobe and make everything else you own feel more current. And remember, letting go of an old piece doesn't erase the memories tied to it. You're simply making room for a version of yourself that feels renewed and confident. Now that we've talked about how worn-out sweaters can drag down your look, let's explore another mistake that has the opposite problem. Sweaters with too much going on, like sequins or heavy embellishments that end up aging you in a completely different way. Overly embellished or glittery sweaters. On the other end of the spectrum from faded, tired knits are sweaters that try too hard to sparkle. Think sequins, rhinestones, large, glittery appliques, or heavy beadwork across the chest. While these may have once felt festive, for women over 60, they can easily cross the line into looking outdated, or worse, costume-like. Instead of adding elegance, too much embellishment can make your outfit appear flashy in a way that distracts from your natural beauty. The truth is, when the sweater shouts louder than you do, it steals attention rather than enhancing your presence. Overly shiny or bedazzled designs tend to cling to a specific fashion era, which instantly dates the look. They can also highlight areas you'd rather soften, since light bounces off the embellishment and draws the eye to the wrong place. What was once meant to be celebratory now risks making you look out of touch. That doesn't mean you should avoid detail altogether. In fact, subtlety is your best friend. Look for sweaters with refined touches, a delicate metallic thread woven through the knit, small pearl buttons, or a soft shimmer that catches the light without dominating. These understated elements create a sense of sophistication and modernity, proving that you can still shine without going over the top. Here's a style tip: if you love sparkle, save it for your accessories. A simple, well-fitted sweater in a neutral or jewel tone can be elevated instantly with a statement necklace, chic earrings, or even a silk scarf with a metallic accent. This way, you control where the eye goes, and your outfit looks intentional rather than accidental. When you strike the right balance, you'll find that people notice you first, not just what you're wearing. And that's the ultimate goal of fashion after 60. To feel confident, current, and authentically yourself. We've now walked through 7 of the biggest sweater mistakes that can quietly add years to your appearance. But before we wrap up, let's bring everything together in a conclusion that will leave you inspired, confident, and ready to refresh your wardrobe. Conclusion: call to action. We've just uncovered 7 of the most common sweater mistakes that can quietly add years to your look after 60. From baggy knits that erase your shape to heavy turtlenecks that crowd your neckline. From outdated patterns and cheap fabrics to sweaters that are too short, too long, faded, or overly embellished, each one can take away from the elegance and vitality you deserve to project. The good news? Every one of these issues has a simple solution. By choosing structured fits over shapeless ones, lighter necklines instead of heavy folds, timeless prints instead of dated designs, and fabrics that feel soft and luxurious, you can refresh your wardrobe with just a few thoughtful swaps. These aren't about chasing trends. They're about elevating your natural beauty and ensuring your style reflects the vibrant, confident woman you are today. Fashion for women over 60 is not about hiding, and it's not about pretending to be younger. It's about embracing quality, balance, and elegance in a way that highlights your individuality. Even small changes, like finding the right sweater length or trading in worn-out pieces for fresh, flattering ones, can make a remarkable difference in how youthful and empowered you feel. If this video has sparked new ideas for your wardrobe, imagine how much more confidence you'll gain when you apply these tips in your everyday outfits. And if you'd like to take it a step further, don't miss my video on how to wear blazers after 60 or timeless handbags every woman over 60 should own. They're packed with style tips designed just for you. So now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these sweater mistakes have you caught in your own closet? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more fashion tips for women over 60. Together we can make style after 60 the most confident chapter yet.